Hey guys, it's Liv here, and in today's video, we're using a Farigiraf Trick Room team. I haven't used Farig on the channel in a while, and I did want to, of course, get some showcase for it, because I haven't actually, as far as I'm aware, since Series 1. Maybe I did in Series 2, but I didn't feature it at the very least, so it's been a while. Hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you do and you want to see some more content like this, like and subscribe, and answer the comment question of the day. What's your favorite Draft League moment? The reason being is I'm actually going to be promoting the VGC Smogon Draft Tour in this video. We'll be promoting it all weekend, of course. The signups do end at the end of the day, Sunday, April 30th. So make sure, of course, you get your signups in as quickly as possible. While even if you do make the signups at the very least before the date, they're only guaranteeing spots to the first 5/8 of people if they do hit a certain amount of signups. At the very least, though, of course, if you don't sign up, you don't have a chance to play. But even still, that you might still get picked beyond the first 5/8. So regardless, just make sure you sign up as soon as possible, because the sooner you sign up, the more of a chance you have to play. With that said, though, let's get right into the team. First up, though, we do have a Mental Herb Farigiraf with the Armor Tail ability. This should be great against a lot of priority users, as priority is on a huge high right now with stuff like Dragonite, Chiampao, and Palafin being all over the metagame. With the Terra Fairy, of course, we're able to resist Chiampao's Throat Chop, which is huge in case it does end up going for that, which would otherwise stop her Hyper Voice. Meanwhile, with the Fizdef investment, we could take on even just a Focus Sash or even a Life Orb Ice Spinner guaranteed. Pre-Terra, we can at least guarantee take a Throat Chop as well, which is pretty cool from Focus Sash. Not from Life Orb or Adamant, but we can from Jelly Focus Sash, which is cool. And yeah, overall, the Hyper Voice plus the Psychic should be, well, the Psyshock should be strong damage options. We're min speed just to try and guarantee the Trick Room gets up and be as slow as possible under Trick Room, which is what the Relaxed Nature helps a lot with. And the Mental Herb should help get around different taunt users. This would be stuff like, I guess Chiampao could technically be a taunt user, but it doesn't typically run it. More so stuff like Murkrow, or I guess, I'm trying to think of taunt mons, but they're hard to think of offhand. You guys, regardless, have played a lot of taunt mons, I'm sure. You guys know some examples. It's just great to get around them. Moving on to our next pick, we do have the Iron Hands with the Safety Goggles. Now, this copies a spread that I actually ran in Series 2 on a team that I brought to Orlando Regionals, but I think it fits really well here. Iron Hands and Farig is a really strong core, with Iron Hands being a strong fake-out user, since Armor Tail only is blocking my opponent's priority, not my own. So we'll actually be using a lot of priority to take advantage of that, since it does guarantee that we will always be hitting first. And especially with Trick Room, Iron Hands is an amazing threat. With the Terra Fire, we avoid burns, and with the investment in our Fizdef and HP, we can take a non-Life Orb Adamant Great Tusk Headlong Rush. Meanwhile, with the Spdef, we should be able to take an Iron Bundle Hydro Pump, even if we do go for Terastal, which is pretty good. The 180 physical attack is left over, and the 28 speed is just to creep other Iron Hands, assuming that Trick Room is not up, because typically a lot of Iron Hands are just running no speed at all, and they're not going really brave or anything like that. This also means that we can creep any sort of Trick Room minus speed nature Armourouge, which is, I guess, something. It's really only important for the ladder play, because typically ladder, for some reason, loves Psy Spam. I don't really see it on Showdown or like tournaments, but ladder, for some reason, Psy Spam is still fairly common, so it's a good creep for that. Swords Dance, Iron Hands, regardless, though, great setup option, and the priority of Fake Out is still huge. Next up is Flutter Mane with the Terra Fairy. We have Booster Energy Speed. Essentially, this is meant to be like a Final Gambit mon, essentially. Similar, I guess, I learned this idea from watching Moxie Boosted bring his team to Charlotte Regionals, where he brought a Semper Sun build with Flutter Mane, and with, not Flutter Mane, Gothitail instead of the Lilligant. But essentially, though, the Booster Energy Flutter Mane is able to creep Roaring Moon with Speed Boost, which is pretty valuable. With this, essentially, it's meant to just sack and allow my Farigiraf to get up Trick Room, because typically people will target the Flutter Mane. Despite the fact that it is a Trick Room team, people will still target the Flutter Mane, because it's just that damning. It's worked out really well, because the Terra Fairy is just such a great offensive presence with Flutter Mane. Meanwhile, Shadow Ball and Gleam are still really good options, too. The 116 HP is just mostly here for extra bulk, and the 4 in each of the defenses is meant to be a bit more of an optimization for our bulk than just throwing 124 in HP. Really strong offensive option, and it benefits a lot from our Torkoal, which I'll get into later on. Next up, we have Palafin with Mystic Water with Wave Crash, Jet Punch, Protect, and Haze. This initially was a Dragonite. However, I did find that Palafin helped a little bit better against stuff like Dozergiri, which, despite the fact that the team struggles a little bit against, it's definitely a lot easier on the matchup at the very least with Haze Palafin. Where Adamant, Terra Water just for as much damage as possible. Didn't really need a specific bulk calcs. I'm sure this could be optimized, but I just didn't think of anything in particular that Palafin needed to live, so I just went with max HP. The Jet Punch and Wave Crash are really good damaging options, with Protect being great with Scout. I have some really good bulky mons, especially the Iron Hands, that can just switch in, so then I can bring in Palafin later on and start cleaning up games. So overall, really good option here. We have the Torkoal up next with Charcoal, Drought. We have Protect, Eruption, Heat Wave, and Earth Power. Just standard Trick Room Torkoal, minus speed 0 IVs, so when we're as slow as possible in Trick Room. It's quite literally only underpaced by Pincurchin, which doesn't really see usage these days, so it's a really good option nonetheless. Earth Power is great for opposing Torkoal, and just the fire options are really damning. Final mon we have on the team is Chien-Pao. Now, I like Chien-Pao a lot because it helps us not only the Palafin outside of Trick Room, but it also is a great lead with Flutter Mane because they just put up a ton of offensive pressure regardless. We have the Terra Ghost to get around priority from stuff like Dragonite, for example, with E-Speed, or even Arcanine with E-Speed, which has been popping up a lot. We have Throat Chop, Sucker Punch, Ice Spinner, and Protect. I figured that Sucker Punch was still really valuable, but I did like having Throat Chop in case if I didn't really need the priority hit, or if I just needed an option against potential bulky mons that might not be going for priority. So I opted for Throat Chop. You can go for Sacred Sword as well. It's still a great option. I didn't really feel like I needed it with Iron Hands though. Or just Jolly Max Speed, just try and tire the Chien-Pao though. And yeah, that's really it. We'll see you guys in the battles though. Until then, peace out guys. Hey guys, we're here today using a Farigiraf Trick Room team. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and if you do and you want to see some more Farigiraf in this format, of course, like and subscribe and answer the comment question of the day, which is going to be, what is your favorite Draft League experience? If you've played Draft League, or if not, do you want to play in a Draft League? This is mostly because of the team builder portion we mentioned earlier, but I am, of course, I'm not sponsored or promoting or promoted by or anything like that, but I wanted to promote, of course, the VGC Smogon Draft Tour, as I've had a lot of draft background on my channel, and I figured it was an important event to promote nonetheless. So hopefully you guys enjoy and sign up, of course. Sign-ups last through the weekend, and yeah, today we're taking on Dragonite, Palafin, Chien-Pao, Ting Lu, Mousehold, and King Gambit. As far as my lead goes, this one's a pretty simple lead. I'm going to lead off with Farigiraf, and I'm going to lead off with, I don't know if I need Palafin in this game in particular. I think I'm going to lead off with the Flutter Mane instead. I don't know. I do kind of like the idea of leading off with Flutter Mane. I could also just lead off with Chien-Pao. I think I'm going to bring Flutter Mane on lead. I'm going to bring the Iron Hands and the Torkoal as my backseaters. Torkoal should be a really good option here, actually. And next to the Farigiraf especially, it's a really absolute demon Pokemon. So good luck or fun to my opponent. And with that said, let's get started with the match. I feel pretty confident that my opponent's going to lead off with Palafin and Chien-Pao, or maybe Ting Lu and Dragonite. I think that one of those two would be a really strong lead. Chien-Pao and Dragonite is obviously also still really good. The issue being is it's so priority reliant. They're going to lead off with Ting Lu Mousehold. Okay, it's still pretty cool core, to be honest. I could just go for like a Gleam here, plus a Trick Room. My opponent would essentially have to Fisher or Pop Bomb into my Farigiraf spot to actually kill, which is really good for me because I can pretty near guarantee get up a Trick Room, and I can bring in my Iron Hands and start cleaning anyway. So we'll go for a Trick Room here, and I'm going to go for a Dazzling Gleam. This way I can get some damage on Ting Lu as well, without the Mousehold having to go for like a Follow Me anyway. So I'm pretty okay with that. Flutter Mane is really just meant to be sort of like, I guess it's the equivalent. I thought of the idea, obviously, from someone else. This was from Moxie Boosted when we were at Charlotte Regionals, who had mentioned when they had played their Flutter Mane Trick Room version of the Sempra Sun team, that they played Flutter Mane essentially like a Final Gambit Annihilate. And that's how I've been playing it on this team as well a lot. I think it's been a really valuable piece. They're going to be Terra Poison Ting Lu, it's perfectly fine, and they are Pop Bomb. God damn it. Come on, don't hit everything. Don't hit everything. I really need this to go off. Critical hit. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So it's not going to kill unless they dual target. But if they do dual target, that really fucks me over late game. Heavy Slam. Okay, so they're targeting the Flutter Mane. That's fine for me. Albeit, I kind of wish I brought Palafin now, but I'm fine with this. I'm very much fine with this. Thankfully, our Trick Room is going to go up here, and with the Psyshock from my Farigiraf in tandem with I think I'm going to have to bring the Torkoal here. I know that Ting Lu is going to weaken it, but at the same time, though, the Terra Fire with the Eruption should still do some really strong damage, and I think that in tandem with the Psyshock, I can get enough damage off here. Now, the question is, Torkoal versus Ting Lu. Okay, so we are Terra Fire boosted. This should still do some strong damage, even if this is Assault Vest. This should be around a 37 to 44% roll, and then the Psyshock should still be really good here. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to go for the Protect and the Psyshock this turn. I don't think a Mouse has Follow Me, thankfully, which is really good for me. I might have Follow Me. I'm not really too sure. Let's see. Population Bomb. So it does have Follow Me. Good to note. Okay, so this should at least be some good chip on the Farigiraf here. If my opponent goes for like a Tantrum, that's fine. If they go for like an Earthquake, that's even better, truthfully. They are going to go for Earthquake. So they'll kill their Mousehold at least, which is strong. We can then bring in the Iron Hands and go for like a Fake Out into Ting Lu, which works out really well for me. Their Mousehold is just about killed as well, which is amazing for me. It's, again, all great things here. The Iron Hands should actually open up a really good turn. for me because I can proceed to fake out into the Ting Lu and then go for an Eruption. The Eruption's obviously going to kill the Mousehold, and if it goes for Protect, so be it. And it will also then put Ting Lu into, hopefully into range of 2 Terrafire Eruptions, which works out really well for my case. So I'm going to make the most of this. If they go for Protect on Ting Lu, well played. I think I actually just lose on the spot. But I kind of just need to hope that my opponent will not go for that. So fingers crossed. They're probably going to proceed to bring in, if I had to guess, like a Dragonite on the following turn, makes a lot of sense. Or just some form of priority here. We're going to get the Fake Out off. Perfect. Okay. Don't be AV, don't be AV, don't be AV. Okay. They're going to go for Follow Me. That's great because their Mousehold just dies. Meanwhile, this Eruption should be some strong damage here. I guess if they're Covert Cloak for some reason, great play again by my opponent because they just won. They do not seem to be Assault Vest. So that's actually really good information to note. Either that or they're not very Spit F loaded. They're flinched. Okay. That's good. Again, I'm probably anticipating that they're going to bring in... I'm not sure what specifically they'll bring in here, but I'm assuming it's probably Dragonite, if I had to guess. I think Dragonite makes the most sense. They are going to bring in Dragonite. Okay. This is fine. I'm going to proceed to go for a... So I guess the question is, without the Terra Normal... Okay. So we'll put Torkoal at, like, 61%. Versus Ting Lu, which move does more? Heat Wave actually does slightly more, but the damage is so minuscule, I'm not going to really care a ton about it. We'll go for Thunder Punch, and I'm going to go for Eruption, just in case. That way then, in case... Okay, so see, they're not going to E-Speed. This works out fine. That means that the Ting Lu did not go for Protect here, which is good to know. So I can just guarantee take that one out, and the Thunder Punch from the Iron Hand should helpfully finish this off. So, in case if it doesn't die for some reason to the Torkoal, that's great for me. Yep, see that? Just did not end up dying to Torkoal. They're going to go for Sand Tomb, and they're going to miss. Thank God. That works out so well for me, because it's free chip that my opponent no longer gets. So I'll definitely take that. For what it's worth, Sand Tomb would have been fairly weak anyway. It would have done probably like 30%. Not 30%, probably like 30 damage. But even still, it's chip that I no longer need to worry about. I think there's one more turn of Trick Room. Yep, it looks like there's one more turn of Trick Room. Maybe even 2. My opponent will probably go for like an E-Speed into a Sucker Punch into Torkoal, which that I will need to kind of worry about. But thankfully, though, I can proceed to just go for a... I think I'm going to go for like a Thunder Punch into Chien-Pao plus a Heat Wave. Essentially, this play is... While I could technically gain a little more from going for a Drain Punch into Chien-Pao, this play is essentially so that way then if Chien-Pao goes for Protect, that's fine. I still get damage off on the Dragonite, which is good. But if they didn't and they were Focus Sash, I can account for either A, Focus Sash Chien-Pao, or B, a non-Sash Chien-Pao, and regardless, still get some good damage off into the Dragonite. So they end up going for Protect, which is fine. This was really... I feel like it was a strong middle ground here that my opponent could have either way played around. But this works out well for me. We're going to Thunder Punch. That's fine. We've probably broken what is most likely a multi-scale Dragonite, which works out well for me. From here, I am going to go for a Drain Punch into Chien-Pao. And then we're going to go for a Heat Wave here. If they try and dual target, so be it. I don't really care. That is probably like a Banded Dragonite, if I had to guess. Actually, no. We've seen that click Protect, so it's not Choice Banded. And it's not Assault Vest either. It's probably Lumberry then. So let's use a Protect and Extreme Speed. Okay. So I'm glad that we've at least targeted the Chien-Pao here on this turn, because this should hopefully help with opening up my endgame here. I almost wrote Sword Game, and I don't know why. It's probably going to go for, if I had to guess, if it has Throat Chop, it's going to go for Throat Chop into Torkoal plus the E-Speed. Otherwise, I think it's going to go for E-Speed plus a... Yep, so they're going to go for E-Speed. They're probably going to go for a Sucker Punch or a Throat Chop here. Ice Spinner. Oh, they're going for Iron Hands. That's great for me, in all honesty, because the Drain Punch will go off first, so I can bring this thing down to a Focus Sash, and then Heat Wave should just pick this off, which is amazing. This is truthfully like the best case scenario, because my opponent left me with the Torkoal that is around for another turn. And at the same time as well, the Iron Hands is still fairly healthy. The Heat Wave should still do some strong damage to Dragonite, and it's going to pick off Chien-Pao here, which is amazing. They're going to probably try and stall out my son. They were definitely multi-scale, by the way, which is good to know, because that was not a crit. So we know for a fact that it is multi-scale Dragonite. Again, all good things to note here. Okay, so I think I'm just going to go for Thunder Punch, and I'm going to go for a Protect. The Protect is mostly because I think they're going to try an Earthquake this turn, actually, and if they E-Speed, that's fine too, because it just stops the turn. However, I do think they are regardless going to target the Torkoal. I don't see them targeting the Iron Hands this turn. They're going to go for E-Speed. Okay, perfect. I'm curious if their last two moves, they're probably like Ice Spinner and Terra Blast, if I had to guess. They're probably like Terra Blast flying. Okay, so I guess it didn't really matter that I protected Torkoal, but I do still feel like it was a safer play, especially in case if they went for an Earthquake, because it didn't kill Iron Hands, and I didn't think I would kill that turn either. But this would have kept Earthquake as a spread move as well, which is another very important aspect of that turn. But regardless, we're starting off 1-0 today. Very strong start. I've been on fire for my Showdown games today, so I'm hoping that carries over into the live. But we'll see you guys regardless in game number 2. Peace out, guys. Moving on to game number 2, we're taking on a team consisting of Flutter Mane. Oh, oops, I gotta start typing. Flutter Mane, Dondozo, Tatsugiri, Glimmora, Arcanine, and Dragonite. Okay, so I'm anticipating probably like a Flutter Mane and Glimmora lead, or maybe like a Dondozo Flutter Mane, Glimmora lead, but I'm definitely anticipating that Glimmora on lead. It does really good in this sort of comp. I think that my play should always be probably Iron Hands plus Farig. I played a comp similar to this earlier in the day, actually, where I led with Flutter Mane and Farig, but I noticed that they actually self-earthquaked and went for Terra Grass, and I want to actually try and fake out the Dozo entirely to stop that, and then go for a Trick Room into like a Side Shock plus like a Drain Punch, or just kill it. That way then it at least doesn't get up 2 layers of T-Spikes. I'm going to bring the Palafin and the Torkoal. Actually, I'm going to go with this, I think, because I do kind of want the Palafin here. It's really good for the Iron Hands and just not for the Iron Hands, for the Dozo and just hazing that. If they lead off with Glimmora, that's fine. I don't really mind, to be honest, now that I think about it, with the T-Spikes getting up, because Iron Hands would be the Pokemon I'd be most concerned with getting poisoned, and yeah, I should be fine. Is this what I want to go with? I think this is what I want to go with. I could bring Qianpao or Flutter Mane. Truthfully, all 6 mons have a great matchup here, but I think this is what I'm going to go with. So good luck and fun to my opponent, and we'll try and make it work. So let's see. What is my opponent going to lead? I'm anticipating, as I said, the Glimmora with one of the Dondozo or the Flutter Mane. I can't imagine what else my opponent would actually lead off with, to be honest. Glimmora Arcanine. Okay, that's still a strong lead, actually, but it benefits me a lot that they're leading off with Glimmora Arcanine, of all things. Okay. So this means that they're probably not going to self-proc the Glimmora, which is huge. They will still most likely Terra Glimmora, if I had to guess. If not, they're trying to wait for the next turn. I think I'm gonna go for the Iron. I don't want to really go for the Iron Hands, to be honest. I think I'm gonna go for the Protect this turn, in all honesty. They're gonna go for Protect. Fuck, I could have gained so much out of going into Iron Hands. I really thought they would try and Will-O-Wisp this slot this turn, but good play by my opponent, I guess. Okay, so they're gonna go for Mortal Spin. Fuck, I could have really stopped my opponent from making any sort of prediction there. Damn, that's really unfortunate, actually, I can't lie. Alright. Well, I'm gonna proceed to go for like a Terra Water, and I'm gonna go for like probably a Jet Punch plus a Hyper Voice into Arcanine, and just kill the Arcanine before it can Wisp. I think that's gonna be my best play. Actually, does that kill? Does Baby Palafin kill with that? I feel like it might. Let's see, Arcanine versus Palafin. Palafin, Terra Water. This is Intimidated. Okay, so Wave Crash might kill. Hyper, let's see, Farigiraf. We do not have actual investment in our spread, so I do need to take that into account. Ooh, we definitely don't kill without the Wave Crash, which is fine. I'll go for the Hyper Voice here, and I'll go for a Wave Crash here into the Arcanine. I could also go for like a Haze plus a Jet Punch, but I feel like it just stalls through too many turns of Trick Room. And also, while the Haze is definitely valuable, I don't die at least, which is good. And I think, truthfully, this is my best opportunity to get damage off. I don't really have a better case to really go for damage here. Like, if Flutter Mane's in the back, so what? I have Torkoal and Iron Hands as well. If the Arcanine stays on the field, so be it. Again, I don't really care, because I have Torkoal in the back. So really, this is my best case. And also, the fact that the Glimmora now poisoned my Palafin is really huge, because I can't get burned. And that is far, in a way, the worst status that could have happened here. Plus, the Arcanine should actually drop to this Wave Crash this turn, which is amazing for me. So I can't get Intimidate cycled either, or burn with my Iron Hands. Which I think, despite the fact that, generally speaking, I would have preferred the Iron Hands Terra this match, this is still a good net positive here. Because my Iron Hands not being able to get Terra'd is a huge success for me. So I'm going to definitely double into Iron Hands in the following turn. I think it's going to gain me a lot more. And then I can go for Psyshock into Glimmora, which will be very huge. I won't kill it, but I will probably 2-KO it, which is still fine for me. And Dozer's going to come in. Okay. So be it. I don't mind Dozer coming in. I'm going to go into the Iron Hands either way, I think. So we'll go for a Psyshock. If they go for some sort of attack, I don't mind losing Iron Hands. I think despite the fact that Iron Hands is a really strong option for me, of the 3 mons in the pack, I think objectively it is, well, of my other 4 mons, I think objectively besides Farig, it is my most useless mon, but it still is objectively a strong pick. The Psyshock should be some good damage to Glimmora here. That's perfectly good for me. We'll go for Let's see. Oh, they're going to damage the Frig. That is so good. Okay. I'm curious if they'll actually just try and attack the... Okay, so they're going to try and attack the Palafin here. Perfect. I know that hit the Iron Hands, but they were targeting the Palafin, which is why I said that. Okay. So what I'm going to proceed to do, they're going to probably protect on the Dozo, which is fine. Just in case, I am going to proceed to go for yet another Psyshock into Glimmora, and then I'm going to go for a Fake Out. This Fake Out is mostly just so I don't lose Farig and the Iron Hands on the same turn. Farig should definitely die to Poison, I think. Or if it doesn't die to Poison, it's going to get pretty fucking close. This should at least allow me a decent turn, if nothing else. So we'll go for the Fake Out into Dozo and then kill the Glimmora. This way, especially without any T-Spikes getting on the field, Torkoal should come in as unharmed as possible, which, while if Dozokiri is the endgame, it's not ideal, it is definitely something. And if Dragonite's on the field, it will demand a lot more respect from Dragonite, which is pretty good. Meanwhile, Palafin should be really good into the Dozokiri core, which also works out well for me. They're going to go for Terra here. I'm assuming it's the Dozo because they were reluctant to Terra Glimmora. No, they're going to Terra Glimmora. I don't know if that'll matter, actually, because I'm pretty sure Glimmora will still die to the Psyshock, because I think it just took way too much damage from the last one. And it's nearly killed. So they are going to go for Protect and Dozo. That's fine. Let's see. Okay. So they have Protect and Wave Crash. I'm pretty sure that the Glimmora should just die to Psyshock. Can it just die to Psyshock? That would be huge. It's going to be close. Okay. Oh, that was a crit. Okay, I can't lie. When I said that, Glimmora was a lot higher health than I thought it was. That crit actually did probably matter. It almost certainly mattered. So very unfortunate for my opponent because they lost a really good Mon because of that crit. When I was saying that earlier, I was really genuinely of the belief that Glimmora was at like a third, and I was thinking, oh, okay, well, Psyshock should kill anyway. And perfect. Farig died. Okay, that works out amazing because I can just bring in Palafin here. And under Trick Room, I actually do get my Haze off sooner than my opponent will end up going for Wave Crash or Earthquake, which means that I'm pretty set. Even if they go for Wave Crash or Earthquake, it won't kill Palafin. Dozo will maybe die to Earthquake, but it's at full health, so I'm not sure. Ooh, they're going to bring in Flutter Mane. Okay, this is perfect. So what I'm going to proceed to do, I'm going to go for a Jet Punch into the Flutter Mane, and I'm going to go for a Thunder Punch into the Flutter Mane. My goal is just to kill this thing as quickly as possible. If they go for Protect, which is pretty likely, that's fine. I don't mind wasting the dual target turn, in all honesty. I could have maybe at least Thunder Punch into the Dozo. That might have been a smarter play. They might now get a Yawn out of this, which is not great, but I'm still okay with this play. The Earthquake won't kill. Meanwhile, I can still Jet Punch on the following turn, and their best play is always just to go for Earthquake here, because they don't really do damage with Dozo otherwise, and if they don't have Yawn, then it's still kind of fodder. So I could probably actually just go for a Jet Punch to Palafin, followed by a Thunder Punch. I might just go for dual target, in all honesty, because I feel like the chance of Dozo going for a Protect is pretty high here. So I might just go for dual target. We'll go for Jet Punch into Flutter Mane, and then I'm going to go for a Thunder Punch into the Flutter Mane. If Flutter Mane Sash, this will obviously take the hit, but I'm still fine with that. Actually, they might have won, because they could probably just get a pretty free Gleam here, and I can't really stop that. And then, yeah, I'm pretty sure they win. Yeah, they're Focus Sash. That's pretty likely here. They could truthfully just go for Wave Crash plus Gleam, and I think they win. Gleam is going to go off. Yep, that's not going to kill the Palafin. That's fine. If they're smart, they just click Wave Crash into Palafin now, and I think that's going to be game, because I can't beat the combination with Torkoal. So that's unfortunate. That's fine, though. We're still 1-1, which is still pretty good. Dozokiri is definitely one of the hardest comps for this team to beat anyway, so I think the fact that I brought it this close, I'll still take that. But, yeah, we'll be fine. I'm going to go into Torkoal. We'll try and at least get off a Heat Wave. Again, I don't think it's really going to matter, in all honesty, because truthfully, they could just go for Shadow Ball plus the Wave Crash should be plenty. If they go for like an Earthquake, that's fine as well. In fact, I could actually see a world where they do go for Earthquake. Harsh Sunlight activated, it's speed. Okay, that's at least good. This means that Flutter Mane will probably not just at least objectively KO me. They might also just go for like a Protect plus an Earthquake just to be a little bit safer, which actually might be the smartest play they can go for. Nope, they're just going to go for Shadow Ball. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, Shadow Ball is going to do like, yeah, about half. And then Wave Crash. Ooh, I mean, maybe we'll take a Wave Crash. Okay, we took that, just barely. Holy shit. I mean, I don't kill Dozo anyway. What am I saying? I die guarantee on the next turn. Yeah, see, this does nothing. Even if I had Terra left, this still would have not been great. But good play to my opponent for sure. I could have maybe switched out Iron Hands in hindsight and then went for like a Jet Punch, but I still don't think it actually mattered. Because even with the Fake Out turn into Dozo, I still lost to Flutter Mane because it could just Gleam me anyway. So I don't think that really anything actually changed about this game. Good play to my opponent, though. They definitely just played better than I did in this match. Or maybe better isn't the right word. They just happened to win, I think. I think they just won. That's really all this was. I don't think it was really a case of playing better or anything. My opponent just won, and that's all it was. Regardless, though, we'll get into our probably final game because we are doing a team builder before this, so I do need to budget that into the video time. So this is most likely the final game of the video. We'll see you guys in the last match. Peace out, guys. Okay, moving on to our final team. We're taking on Glimmora, Chi-Yu, Dragonite, Scizor, Annihilate, and Ting-Lu. So that Ting-Lu is definitely going to be annoying with this comp. It actually is really good next to everything besides Chi-Yu. And Chi-Yu is just a really good special breaker for the team. It clears a lot of stuff that Dragonite and Scizor might have issues with, especially the steals that they mutually share issues with. They're probably not bringing Glimmora against this team. While Glimmora in general is a decent mon, it has no reason to actually come against this comp, which is good. This might be a game where I show off the well, actually, no, that's a lie. So part of me wants to bring, like, the Torkoal and Flutter Mane to this game, but the Scizor actually does limit that a lot. I might still bring Flutter Mane anyway, but I'm not, because it is a really good option for Dragonite. But I'm not going to bring both Flutter Mane and Torkoal, Flutter Mane and Torkoal, because it gives a lot of issues with the Scizor. Though Flutter Mane is still so good in this matchup, I think I'm going to bring it anyway. We'll go with the Palafin. I think what I'll do is I'll bench Torkoal. Torkoal's not bad here by any means, but I still... Yeah, I think I'm going to definitely bring Palafin. I think Palafin's a really good check to, like, the Ting-Lu later on. I think I want to bring Iron Hands, and I'm going to bring Torkoal. I think I do bench Flutter Mane this game. Yeah, I bench Flutter Mane. This should be a little bit interesting for sure. I don't know. I definitely like the Palafin here too much to not lead with it and bring it, because Palafin could be a really good cleaner against everything besides Dragonite. I don't think that Dragonite's going to be Terra Normal on this team. I think it's going to be Terra Flying, and it's probably going to be AV Dragonite, because the Ting-Lu would be meant to helping with that, since it'll give it a lot more special defense bulk. Could also be DD. I think it's going to be a DD Dragonite team. So they do bring the Glimmora, and they bring the Annihilate as well. That's honestly fine. They might go for Final Gambit, which could be interesting. I kind of want a Jet Punch plus Trick Room. Let's see. I'm going to go... Well, actually, right. Farig doesn't actually mind that at all. Because no, because the fighting move. Shit. I'll go into Iron Hands. Iron Hands should be able to shoot that for sure. Farig, honestly, I could have maybe Jet Punch with Terra Water into the Annihilate. But if they are burning it, in hindsight, that might actually be fine. Because that means that they're giving up Annihilate, which is actually a pretty decent threat to my team. And even without Trick Room, I can still definitely manage the game with Palafin late game. And they would essentially guarantee me a very free turn to bring that in. And Palafin does so much damage against their team with Annihilate that I would be fine there. So I think I'm going to just do that, yeah. We'll be fine. I'll be able to handle this. They're probably going to be bulk up anyway, in all honesty, which is good for me. They're going to go for bulk up. Yep, okay, perfect. Thank God. Thank God they're not Final Gambit. Okay, so bulk up goes off, and then Glimmora's probably going to go for a Mortal Spin here. Perfectly fine. I don't mind the Mortal Spin turn. I'll just go for Psyshock, and then I'm going to go for a Sword Stance. The poison isn't really a huge deal. While I can definitely just go for the Glimmora KO outright, I do think that boosting to try and beat Annihilate might be a little bit better for my long term. So we'll go for Psyshock into the Glimmora. We'll probably do about half, which is fine. If we can burn a Terra on Glimmora, that's also really good for our endgame. As we saw last game, despite the fact that Glimmora can definitely put up a bit of an issue, it's not a huge deal. So we'll go for the Psyshock into Glimmora, and I'm going to go for a Sword Stance here. Skip Psyshock will go off, and then we'll go for a Sword Stance this turn. I'm not going to Terra Fire just yet. That might be something I do later on, as it could benefit a little bit. Actually, Terra Fire is really only good if they have Chi-Yu, and even still, I would need Trick Room to be gone. But that could still be something we actually do click, as Terra Fire could maybe make the difference against the Chi-Yu. But with stuff like Dragonite, for example, I'm dying to Earthquake either way. Ting-Lu, I'm still dying to Ground Moves either way. Scizor doesn't really matter. I'm resisting Bullet Punch regardless. Annihilate doesn't really change anything. And the Glimmora just makes me weaker. So, yeah, I'll really only Terra if Chi-Yu comes in the field, because Chi-Yu could be kind of annoying. They're going to Protect. Perfect. Okay, this is a free Sword Stance turn for me. And the Glimmora should be, like, genuinely punished by the Psyshock. It's going to be 2 KO'd, which is amazing. Perfect. Psyshock goes off. That's great damage right there. Meanwhile, the Iron Hands should be able to get off a really strong Sword Stance here. And then I think I'm going to Thunder Punch the Annihilate. If they go for Rage Fist, I'm okay with that, in all honesty. Because I'll still be able to get off a really strong hit, and then Torkoal can easily pick that off. Or maybe the Palafin picks that off later on. Either way, though, we are going to Psyshock into the Glimmora spot, and I'm going to Thunder Punch the Ape. even if they do Terra Glamora, again, that's fine. They're not Terraing something like a Dragonite, which is objectively a much stronger and much more potent Terra option against my team. So I'm pretty okay with that. They're probably going to switch out Annihilate, if I had to guess, into Tinglu, which if they do, that's fine. I still think that objectively I should try and target the Annihilate because that is what it's in front of me. And the Annihilate is way too scary to just Drain Punch into it and let it get a free Drain Punch or a Rage Fist off. Especially the Drain Punch and just letting it get damage off for free, no drawback against my team at +1, could be a little scary. But either way, though, we are just going to try and kill something. The Glamora should objectively die if it does not Terra, which is huge. And also, if it does Terra, that means that, like, no Terra Scizor, Dragonite, Chiyu, Tinglu, all of which are more scary. Even Annihilate is scary. So I'll take that. Glamora is going to die. No T-Spikes went up. That's huge for the Palafin as well as the Torkoal. And it's also a really good sponge for Torkoal in the back that they just lost. This does lead me to believe that they do have the Dragonite, though, which I'm okay with that. Annihilate takes, like, half, so it didn't Drain Punch this turn. That should be good because I can still just go for like a Psyshock plus a Thunder Punch, and that should pick off the Annihilate. They're going to Drain Punch. Okay, a little bit scarier, but still not a huge deal. I think I, again, just go for Psyshock plus a Drain Punch that turn. Thankfully, their priority is blocked as long as Farig is on the field, which is huge, because that means that they essentially do need to go for like a Drain Punch into Farig, or maybe like an Earthquake on Dragonite, which does limit the options that something like a Scizor could actually do in this matchup right here. So I think I'm just going to go for the Drain Punch plus the... I might actually just go for Drain Punch plus Protect and let... well, not Drain Punch, Thunder Punch plus Protect and let Farig go for the Protect to keep itself around. That could open up a lot more against, like, a Dragonite, for example. They're going to bring in Tinglu. Okay. So Tinglu is fine. I'm going to definitely still go for that Protect this turn on Farig. I think that is objectively my play now. But I am going to target the Tinglu instead, because the Tinglu could be a little bit scary for Torkoal. So I think when I... kill the... When I go for the Drain Punch this turn into Tinglu, it's probably a Solvest, which is great. If they go for a Terra, so be it. I don't mind. It's objectively a scary Terramon, and it could Terra into something like a Poison to get this resistance off, but I can't really scout for that at this point, because I don't have Protect on the Iron Hands. Thankfully, they did not go for that, which means that I should get a ton of health back for this turn. Oh, fuck. Okay, so they're actually slower. That's good to know. That means my Farig outpaces that. Oh, fuck. That means I lose Iron Hands. I lose Iron Hands, and this is a Citrus Tinglu. That's actually not great for me. But at the same time, though, my Torkoal can do a huge number of hit points to that, which I'll definitely take that. I'm curious if this is like a Terra Water or like a Terra Grass set, but either way, definitely a huge loss for me at this point. Okay. I think my play is to bring in the Palafin here. I think I need to go for like a Hyper Voice this turn plus a Jet Punch with Terra Water. I think it's gonna be my best play. One turn to trick him. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I think I go for Hyper Voice here, and I go for Terra Water Jet Punch, just to guarantee damage on Tinglu. That should kill if it doesn't go for Terra Water or Grass. If it does, then good play by my opponent. I can't really actually stop that, and that might actually make the difference in the match. I can't lie. So I do kind of just need to beat this thing. The Tinglu could definitely prove to be problematic for us, though, because it has Protect, which actually, that's a huge deal. I still stand by bringing this in before the Torkoal, because I can't do enough damage to Torkoal anyway if the Tinglu is on the field. And even if I went for like a Psyshock plus a Eruption, I don't think I killed. I guess I'll check just for shits and giggles, but I'm pretty sure Annihilate did take that. Let's see. So Annihilate versus Terrifier Torkoal. Special defense. Okay, so maybe I could have. Farigiraf. Please don't be... Oh, fuck, it's water. Okay, that might actually matter a lot. Psyshock. Let's see, so Psyshock minus special attack, +1. Fuck, we probably would have killed too. Oh, fuck, I choked really bad. For what it's worth, Tinglu was still a pretty decent bet to us. And Annihilate could have honestly just protected anyway. So I still stand by that play. But fuck, that might have lost us the match. But it's so unfortunate too, because I don't really think I had a strong out anyway. Yeah, shit. Because I don't beat this thing. I don't beat this mon at all. Terra Water Tinglu is literally like the best option against this team, because it puts up such a decent offensive presence here, and I can't really do anything to stop that. Rage Fist, yeah, it's just gonna kill Palafin, and then I just lose next turn to the, oh shit, we took that. We don't take it well, but we do technically speaking take that. Shit, okay. Alright, well, I think Farig has enough H... Nope, Farig just dies. Okay, unfortunate. Oh, right, yeah, because Poison does 1/8 with just regular Poison. Shit. Shit. And Trick Room's gone, so I just, fuck. It's unfortunate. That's just really unfortunate. I don't have a better word for that. I know it just sounds repetitive at this point, but my opponent just had the right Terra for the Stingler. There's not a lot I could really do about that. Okay. So, I guess just in case, I'll go for an Eruption, and I'll go for a Jet Punch. Really, this is just about getting off slightly more damage. If I can maybe crit the Annihilate, I might have a chance. But I'm weakening my own Palafin with it, sadly, which is a little unfortunate. But yeah, I can't really stop this Stingler. I don't have a mon on my team that does that, actually, because of the fact that they got the right Terra at the right time. And that Protect really did hurt a lot. Though, again, I don't think it was as simple as my opponent had the right Terra either. Because my opponent, I think, always just managed to beat me with this. They're going to go for Tantrum. Okay. That's fine, yeah. Because even if I went for a Haze there, I don't think the Wave Crash in the following turn would have killed in the Sun. It just didn't do enough damage. And even still, I never beat the Tinglu because it's Terra Water. So it's just unfortunate. My opponent just had a better team, though. Objectively, they just outplayed me. But it is what it is. We'll go for Wave Crash just for shits and giggles. We can see how much the +1 Wave Crash does. But I still stand by the fact that Jet Punch, I'm hoping for like a crit, I guess was probably my best play. Their Rage Fist is going to kill. This leads me to believe that, I don't know, I think they just had this game. They just had this game. But hopefully you guys enjoyed. Sorry about going 1-2 again. We'll have to try and bounce back next week for sure. I guess the ladder high did not end up providing to our in-game success, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and if you did, of course, like and subscribe for more. We have a channel member video going up today at 7 o'clock EST. It's actually currently already slated for that time on the channel, so it's 100% going up at 7, unless I forget to set it to public. But shout out to our channel members, speaking of, being Josh K, Ultra Player, Mia, Zeke Zero, Matt O'Shea, Bbat, On to Per, Timo Mueller, Fonzie, Bam Bambi, Frau Plays, Obo, and Johannes B. Your guys' support on the channel is, of course, greatly appreciated, and if you want to become a channel member for just a couple of dollars a month, we have some fun ladder challenges as well as some bonus member content outside of those going up 2 times a month, so make sure, of course, to check out those bonus videos. It's once a month on the ladder challenges and once a month on the other videos. We'll be pulling our next member video tomorrow at probably around like 5 or 6 p.m. EST, so make sure you, of course, get the channel membership today so you can get your voice in for that. With that said as well, make sure you check out the Smug on Draft Tour stuff. I'm going to probably mention that as well in the Scene Builder, but just, of course, make sure you check that out. It should be a lot of fun for the VGC Tour, and I'll be hopefully participating myself, assuming I make the cutoff. But we'll see you guys then. Peace out, guys.